my guest for the evening. You know exactly where you can find her at DD White. Links to all of her social media is in the episode description. Please make sure you support the creators that come on our show. Otherwise, they stop coming on our show. So bare minimum, go follow on social media. Anything, if you have money further than that, definitely consider buying content. Dee, thank you so much for coming on with me tonight. It's a pleasure to meet you.
You're welcome.
Let me start with the boring question, the common one that always comes through. How did you initially decide to get into the adult entertainment industry? Was it a coming off a cliff and you were just fully into it? Did you tiptoe in? What was your whole entrance into this field?
I actually was a swinger.
Okay.
Seemed to be, but from the swinger level first, where you're experiencing sex with a lot of different people, sharing with your husband. And then he was videoing me. And then we decided that he loves watching and posting me. And I've gotten popular with all the porn industries and the swingers, of course,
Sure.
and the fans out there. It took maybe about a year of doing swinging, which we didn't really. We started a little bit when we were didn't have our children around for a while. There was a break where we had no children, and then came back with previous marriages, things like this.
Sure.
So we got to have fun. Then we stopped because we had responsibilities. And then we went from the family time to us alone and had a lot of fun and started the swinging. But it was something where we were doing that for about a year. And then when the videos were going up on a swinger, he'd put short clips on the swinger sites and on Twitter at that time, now X. And I was found and started to get into the porn industry that way. That's how it happened. I've met a lot of nice people. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And we're just going along and doing a lot of things.
So a lot of the performers I've talked to recently got into it through swinging, through the lifestyle. I always find it so fascinating. I've been with my wife since I was 19. I'm 38 now. Not only have I not been in the swinging lifestyle whatsoever, I haven't even, what's the term, spread my seed or done whatever. And I'm okay with it. I love it. I love my wife. I love our sex life, this and that. So I come to this completely from a place of ignorance, not rudeness or malice or anything. Can I ask can I ask this? And if any of this is too personal, please let me know and I'll just, we'll cut it out. How long were you together with your husband before you decided to get into the lifestyle?
Wow. Well, honestly, when I met him, it was my second marriage, I was 30. And I did not know anything, even the word, what swinging meant. He was already into that. And that's how he was dating. I apparently was with other couples. Then we ran into each other at a club, of course. And we dated, and then he started to introduce me to his friends, and I discovered the swinging lifestyle at 30.
Sure. Okay.
At that time, we didn't have our children. I had 2 girls, he had 2 girls, and our spouses had them at different times. And so that was a lot of fun. At first, it was interesting, though, when he introduced me to that style, I was like, maybe he's not happy with me. Maybe I shouldn't be going on with this relationship. And it was like, I'll go a little bit further and see where it goes.
Sure.
But it was like off and on. Then we discovered that there were certain things I liked and he didn't like when we were meeting people.
Sure.
So we let it go for a while. We had our children. I'd say maybe 20 years went by.
Okay.
And when they finally grew up and they were out of the house, we decided to go back to the swinging lifestyle. And we did that because it was exciting. And after a while, when you're married, you do the same things repeatedly.
Okay.
The excitement starts to sway. Even though you love each other, those things you want to start making exciting again. And that's when we decided to go back.
Okay.
And at that time, I decided that he liked watching me with Black men. So that was our kink, where he liked videoing. It wasn't necessarily him getting involved. He loved watching me.
Okay.
So that's how we got it back into the swinging lifestyle and got to do what we're doing now.
So it's such an interesting journey you have there, because what I find, I have a million questions. The first question I have is, how much did the lifestyle or how it's approached or how you look into it change in the 20 years or so that you were out of it? I mean, I assume it would be like a 180. It would be going from a horse to a car, you know?
Yes. Yes. Well, from finding people in little clubs and secret areas, through the newspaper, those type of ways,
Sure.
where now it's a website. It's all these people, and they say what area they're at, what they're into. You don't have to sit there at a bar and talk to them and find out, well, do I like? You can see what they look like. You can see how their sexual desires are and how they are on the website before you even meet them.
Right.
So and you can interact back and forth right on the website. So being in a place, meeting outside, and not comfortable and saying, nope, you're not for me and goodbye, you can do this it's a lot easier with the internet. Sure. Definitely. And then, of course, you can see where the house parties are. There's a lot more clubs out there. If you want to travel to a different town, they're already advertising where they're at there. And you can even talk to those people before you even get there.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a little more, you're able to customize your experience almost a little bit more. It's not, and it seems like, I know everyone gets so scared of the internet. It seems like there's less risk with this than just calling the number in the back of a dirty magazine or newspaper or whatever it is, right?
Exactly. Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
Sure. So,
because you don't know if you're even safe. There's females out there that only like to be with couples because they feel more comfortable with that.
Sure.
And being a single woman and trying to experience this on your own, you don't know what you're walking into.
All right. Can I ask, did you have, okay, so you came into the quote, the swinger lifestyle. I assume your marriage before that was much more vanilla. I mean, very vanilla, or
very.
Okay, all right. So when you came into this, was there any kind of rules or boundaries that you established early on with your husband, maybe now your new husband, in the lifestyle? And then did those eventually erode over time where it was a little bit like, you could go ahead and go ahead and try that? Or were there just no rules from the beginning?
We would talk it over beforehand or in the middle, right at the moment. We were always good about when we went into a club or even meeting people on the website that we would discuss it before we would go any further. The do's and don'ts. Sometimes you don't know what the don'ts are or the do's until you start to get into it.
Sure.
So, like being dominated. It kind of interested me, but I didn't know how much. So he was there and we met somebody and he was showing us what certain things you do. And so it was a safe environment. Okay. And we said yes to this, no to this. And that's the way, how we did it.
Do you guys currently, and if you don't want to disclose them, that's understandable as well. Do you currently have rules in place, and are those only applied towards lifestyle things, or is it applied across the board for work as well, production, shooting, anything?
I haven't run across it because a lot of people, we know what we're looking for when we want to do video shoots. Before we have them come in to do the shoots, we're already talking to them about the do's and the don'ts.
Gotcha.
So there's no surprises.
Gotcha. And that's the best way to have it, right? No surprises.
Yes.
Everyone having fun,
Yes.
good time. Let's be upfront.
Yes.
Let's be honest about it, right?
Yes. There was one thing I was surprised that I would do. And when we would go to clubs, they always have the girls up there dancing.
Mm-hmm.
And that was something that I always loved dancing. That's how we met each other, in a club dancing. So when I got up and started to strip on it with a stripper pole, I was shy, didn't really know what I was, if I wanted to do it. But once I got up there, that was something that I experienced. So later on in years, before I got into porn, when we got back into swinging, I actually told him, how would you feel about me actually working as a stripper in the evening for a while? Because I always wanted to experience that.
Sure.
He loved it.
Yeah.
Those are things we just worked with each other, and we're wild people as it is. So we were open, very, very much open to that one.
Gotcha. Couple more questions about the lifestyle here. Is your husband, are you okay with him engaging with other women throughout the time? Or is he primarily a watcher in this scenario?
He watches. Sure. He's told me that, I've told him many of times, if you see somebody that you really want to be with, go for it. I'm open to it also. But yeah, I know you're always watching me. And he said, no. He says, you're hard to replace.
Oh, yeah.
He's so sweet. So I was like, oh, okay.
It's so funny because we understand. Yeah, I'm not in the industry as you are. I'm like periphery kind of, but I've spoken to enough people and interviewed enough people that from the outside perspective, the vanilla perspective, you might look at it. And again, I do not feel this way, but someone ignorant to the industry looks at it and be like, well, this guy, he's just kind of forcing his wife to go to swingers clubs and do this and that. And what they don't understand is those relationships don't last. If you're making the woman do something she doesn't want to do, hopefully she gets out of it quick, right? Mm-hmm. So there's this perception or whatever that, especially if it's like a one-way thing, like, oh, he doesn't hook up with people. Or maybe the other perception is you're not happy with him. So you have to go out and you're forcing him into this. This is entirely mutual. You both love what you're doing. You only got here because you loved it. Is that correct?
It is. I have to tell you one thing you just reminded me of, though.
Sure.
There was a time between the children growing up that it didn't work out for a while, and I had gained weight, and he wanted to go back to that lifestyle. When I wasn't ready, I had to get back and feel good about myself before I did it again. Even though I wasn't against it, I wasn't ready for someone to see me overweight.
Sure. And
so that's another thing too. A woman might, guys, I don't know if you're the same, but when a woman doesn't feel good about herself, that stops her from doing it too.
Gotcha. So I don't know how to broach. Oh, there is one last question about the lifestyle, and I don't think it applies to you, unfortunately, if your husband is not also. My question is, I always find this concept funny. Have either of you ever had to, quote unquote, take one for the team? So I picture a couple, and I picture looking at another couple, and my wife is really interested in the guy, and I'm looking at the girl going, this is going to be a bummer for me. Have you or him either had to be like, I don't love this, but I'll do this one for you here?
Yeah. There was a time when I experienced that before we figured out that he really wanted to just watch me. There was an attractive blonde. My husband loves blondes. So I said, go for it. Even though the husband was 5 foot. But we didn't realize is after we're stripped off and he's on it, he's doing her. He doesn't have anything. It's like, okay. So we proceeded to he tried to please me another way. I was like, this isn't getting it.
Yeah.
Those situations happen. Yeah.
Sure.
Because at that time they weren't showing people on the website.
Right.
The clips weren't there. You were just that the complete communication on the internet wasn't there. It was just talking to people back and forth, texting.
Gotcha.
So
All
yes,
right.
that can happen.
I
Definitely.
understand. All right. Let me dive into the content. I don't know how to broach this appropriately. You got into this industry a little bit older in life, right? I
Yeah.
am 38 and my bones feel like they're breaking every day when I get out of bed. I feel horrendous all the time. I'm not healthy. How do you do this?
I work out all the time.
Gotcha.
You can't slow down. After we got back into the industry, it's something that I always took care of myself. I didn't get way overweight. So now it's, you get to the gym because your joints, you have to be limber. You've got to take vitamins. There's just a lot of things you have to do.
Sure.
Definitely. And it's worth it though, because I'm 71 and a lot of people, my younger sister is in really bad shape next to me. It's like a lot of people our ages, they're overweight now. They don't take care of themselves anymore. And I do the gym. I go cycling. I love to be outside.
That's great. That's
so
good. It shows up later in life then, I guess. Like if I'm lucky enough to make it to your age, I probably won't be unless I start working at it now. And the audience should know that too. Dee Dee here is 71, you said, or 70?
I'll be 71 next in 2 more weeks.
Well, congratulations on your birthday. That is crazy because you look phenomenal. I just say that from the outside, and your energy and your performances is that of a 30-year-old woman. So congratulations on staying healthy and staying good. Knock on wood on that one. If I were to go to any of your personal channels and sign up, by the way, for people listening, at DD White, make sure you follow the links in the episode description, where you produce your own content, what am I seeing on that? What kind of content do you and is your husband a part of the filmmaking process? Like, is he filming, editing? He's that. Yeah. Okay.
All of it. We recently had to rebrand, and thank God we had the raw footage because we had to take it all down.
Wow. Okay.
Like 6 different sites, and he's still in the process of doing it all. He re-edits and he posts, and sometimes I'll let him post my area, but I have certain areas where I like to keep in touch with my fans.
Gotcha.
But I'll be honest with you, I heard you say DD White. There's a musician called DD White.
Okay.
So I'm DD White XX.
XX, I apologize. DD White XX, that's on Twitter, but if we want to find content of you, I think it's at DD White, right? The other places. Yes. Correct. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Links to everything in the episode. Please make sure you hit those because we always want to make sure we're supporting these people. So the rebrand is interesting to me because I go old school with my knowledge of porn. Like I know porn stars from the 90s and this and that. Seka, you were for a while Seka Black, right?
Yep.
Seka was a legendary big name. She was actually even a little bit outside of my range, but I am aware of Seka. Why the rebrand out of that name? I only ask because there's a lot of porn stars with the name Brittany. There's a lot of porn stars with the name whatever, So why the rebrand? Was this not a legal issue as if you were being sued, but maybe an administrative issue or?
I think it was more of a trademark, even though I always said Seka Black. But then since I look similar to her and back in those days, I guess fans were getting confused. So I just decided that it was better if I just rebranded to DD White.
Okay. All right. DD White X.
But it's funny. A lot of my fans, though, they say, we know who you are. It's like, and they followed me. It's great.
That's great. So what kind of content do you two like to make for yourself? Obviously, if you're shooting for big studios or anything, you're kind of beholden to what they want to do. What is something that you guys really like to put together? You get excited for it's Monday and you go, I can't believe we're shooting that on Friday.
Yeah. I love shooting with Black men. Okay. They just have this different way about them that I love to shoot with Black men, and my husband loves to do the videoing and editing. it's since my age, I'm actually doing a lot of stepson or not grandma as much. I haven't gotten into that. It's more of a MILF area.
Gotcha.
Or the naughty neighbor, things like that.
Gotcha.
But it's nice. I'm excited right now about going to do a shoot with I love being in costume.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to be a police officer, and I'm going to arrest him because he's shoplifting.
Sure. Sure.
We think of little scenes like that to start. And then we, of course, get into the fun where I love the gangbangs, the DP, and then the threesomes. But it's always all my fans tell me they love to watch the beginning scene, whether I'm seducing them or they're seducing me.
Yeah.
It's good.
Okay. Working with black guys, is that an aura thing? Is it a size thing? I'll tell you why I've always loved interracial porn, which people are trying to get away from that term. It's so dumb. I don't know. Whatever you believe is fine. I don't believe in any kind of racism or anything like that. So if you don't like the term, that's your thing. Not you, the audience, but whatever. I like it because there's a beautiful contrast of color, you know? And I can go the other way too, a white guy and black girl. I love just it looks like just a beautiful kind of like Play-Doh mashed together of all these people.
Yeah.
What do you like about it? Is it a size thing? Is it a vibe thing? Is it like I said, artistic? Okay. All right. So
I have a funny feeling. I'll give you a little story here.
Sure.
I'm the oldest out of 5 kids.
Okay.
I had to take care of 3 bratty brothers. So all I can imagine is that maybe because I had to deal with my brothers, that I don't want anything to do with white. And my father, back in our days, my day, we weren't allowed to mix, and it was something that you just didn't do. And it's like I always hated that. As a young kid, that was not right. Yeah. And I don't know if that's in me. I really don't know.
When I meet performers who really love, again, sorry for the term, interracial porn or shooting anything like that, I always like to ask, are you running away from racism in your family? Not in a negative way. Like you experienced it young and you hated it and you go, fuck it, I'm going to not engage with this. Yeah. Or maybe you had like a very open hippie family and you never even saw it as a different thing. You just kind of engaged. But it's normally one of those two where it's kind of like, okay, you know, I get it. I totally get it.
And of course, me being older, and that's all you heard back in that time.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, that you couldn't.
But the thing with you is, again, we've already discussed your age is clearly just a number in this scenario. Like you were in a much better shape. But if I were to say I'm going to put an older lady here with this young, black, vibrant, like dynamo, that creates this fun contrast where I'm like, oh my, is she going to make it out of here okay? What is, you know, and at the end, you're loving it, you're smiling, you're covered in cum, whatever the situation is, and everything's good and we're happy, right?
Oh, yeah. I've had a couple of 18-year-olds that once they come, they want to keep going. And it's like, oh, wow, this is great. I love it.
Okay, so then the age thing too. Let me ask about that. Are you, as long as everyone's legal, 18 plus, are you free working with anyone? Do you have preferences in an age range you like to work with?
No, that's just so they're into me, I'm into them. It doesn't matter. Most of the time, I don't even know how old they are. Okay. When they're at 18, they're on set. They're usually making big deal about that age. So that's how I find out. But normally, no, it's just whether our personalities click, which most of the time they do. Okay. So if that's what happens, and we go for it because it's fun.
Great. I won't ask you to identify by name at all. But I want to get a contrast here if possible. Have you been on a good mainstream production and a bad mainstream production? and what separates the two? What can producers who are listening to this right now do to make a set a little more friendly, something that fits what you like? Maybe you've never had a bad experience, and if so, great, knock on wood, you won't have any going forward. But if you have had a like subpar or this was only okay, what do you want from a director or a producer to bring to the set for you?
It's not really the director or the producers. It's more they're trying to make it all happen, and talent will cancel at the last minute, and they have to find somebody over there on that set.
Okay.
And then everybody's got to sit around after getting up early in the morning and getting ready themselves, and we're sitting around. That's happened a few times, but it's understandable. But as far as the director, the video guys, and the people that are getting the costumes and together, it's not really on them.
Gotcha.
So and then, of course, they pull the talent in later on, and they've already been at another shoot. Okay. Then it really gets difficult.
Okay.
The poor guy. It's like, they shouldn't have volunteered.
That's true. Yeah. Don't sign up for the job if you can't do it.
Yeah. So those types of situations have happened. But, when you got everybody sitting there and you need to have someone to get the shoot done,
So professionalism, it sounds like, is what might, again, it sounds like you haven't been on a bad set, but like a bad set, I guess that's what it would separate it. This is a business. Let's approach it like a business. It's a real fun business. This guy over here gets to fuck D.D. White today. It's a great business. Let's just all be on time and work the way we're supposed to. So okay. All right. I'm going to do a thing on here I like to call stat check. Now, stat check is entirely wrong. It is based on the Internet Adult Film Database. They track some of your scenes don't show up here. This happens, that happens, whatever. It's wrong. So these numbers are going to be wrong, but I like to use it as a milestone. So when I interview you a year from now and you have all these AVN awards around you, I'm going to go see where you were before. The number of scenes I have for you is 97. The number of guys you have worked with, 49. The number of girls you have worked with, 10. 1 AVN nomination, 0 wins so far. Is that correct? From what you know, at least at the end with the nominations and such?
2 nominations.
I will correct that then.
Yeah. Niche performer of the year and fans' favorite milk.
Gotcha. Any of those wins yet or no? We're still working on that?
Nope.
I got nominated for a podcast one. There's podcasts that have 3 million listeners. So look, I'm middle of the road. I'm going to have to work my way up to that. But just being nominated is a good feeling, right?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
It was exciting to walk the red carpet. Yeah. It's a great experience. And being in the audience, just watching the awards. It was fun.
Can I ask you a dumb question? Did you walk the red carpet with your husband or a performer?
With my husband.
Okay.
And then when we got up to the photos, he stepped off to the side and then I went up by myself.
Gotcha. Oh, see, that's nice. And how important is it having a partner who is 100% all in with you on this? It's a requirement. It has to be, right?
Oh, it's definitely. If you don't, it's a lot tougher. I know right now I hired a new PR guy and it helps a lot. But my husband, my gosh, he's I guess you could say my producer.
Sure.
Also.
Yeah.
Got to, because he's doing the videoing and editing and the posting.
I always ask this question, and you're very lucky to have a husband that's willing to do this type of stuff. I always ask it, and it's a snarky question, but it's, when you got into porn, did you realize it would be 95% administrative work and video editing and or did you just think you were going to be having fun fucking young looking guys?
Well, I didn't think it would be this much work.
Right.
As far as I want to pull myself away from the computer and have a lot more fun. So we're in the process of getting there, though. That's why the PR guy, and we're gradually getting to where we can get some more help here.
Totally.
I have my daughters are very talented, I have one girl that does my advertising and my artwork. So we're going to get more help.
So again, we kind of touched on this off air. You're willing to say whatever you're willing to say, and I'm totally fine just accepting that. You said your daughter also may have tiptoed or worked in the industry as well?
Well, between my husband and I, we have 5 girls.
Okay. All right.
So, and they're very talented because we've had a past business that they've taken over, and this is our retirement.
Sure.
So I've got one that does artwork that is very, very good. She does my banners. She does my logos, everything. And she's big, big help. Now I have my younger daughter that's was later. She was adopted. She's 24 and she's got her own kink on OnlyFans and a couple other places. I don't know what they are because we don't know. We don't see. We just interact with Instagram to figure out, she helps me with my promoting things, and she gives me a lot of advice. I don't give her much advice because that age group, they know it all.
Sure. Yeah. Okay, let me ask this. Did you always just raise a open and whatever, like I think if my mom asked me to help edit, something of her getting, banged by black dudes, I would accept it as her life, I would also for a second go, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to cut that together. I can't do it. So is that the thing, or was there a time of acceptance that needed to be like, I need you to know I love doing this and I'm going to do it?
They know that what I do, what my kink is. They don't see it. That's hubby's job. They just do the pictures and the artwork of me.
Got it. Okay.
They don't do the videos and the edits.
So everyone's aware we just stay in our own corners while doing things.
Their own corner.
Okay. All right. Totally makes sense. Are there any types of shoots or scenes that you've maybe when I say this, I always wonder like if there's a specific type or niche or anything like a gangbang, a bukkake, a this or that. Is there anything that you've done in your personal life or haven't done in your personal life that you want to incorporate into your porn life as well that you haven't done?
I would like to start to do more videos with the cuckolding, where it's a white guy with a black guy, but then they are interacting more. But it's hard where the cuckold will actually suck cock on the black guy. Okay. Because you don't see too much of that.
No, I normally turn it off at the end when the guy starts cleaning with his tongue. That's a personal preference of mine. I totally understand people enjoy that. Would you incorporate your husband in that scenario, or would we do another performer?
With another performer.
Okay.
But it's hard for us to find people like that. There are a lot of people that love it, but they won't show their faces.
Interesting. Okay. Could you bring in, because there's definitely mainstream people, right, that do that. Like I think of Cuckold Sessions, a bunch of different websites that end it with like a cleanup or whatever you'd like to refer to it as. So you haven't shot anything like that yet, or you just like shooting okay. All right.
I did 2 shoots a couple of years ago, but that was really lucky to find. Oh no, that's what it was. The cuckold had to wear masks. So we decided not to do that direction anymore and put it off. But we're thinking about going back into it if we can, because there are a lot more people that are doing it now. And so maybe we can find talent that will do it.
Sure.
But then also we need to have a black guy that will let them suck their cock.
So and
that's difficult.
Yeah, you need 2 almost guys who are bi-willing, bi-curious, whatever,
exactly.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And were they not showing their face because they were embarrassed by that? Like,
I guess so.
Why be in it then? Why be in it at all? Don't do that. Just suck cock on the side, whatever. Right? Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of that in the swinging lifestyle. So that's why it just won't come out, though.
Sure. So can I ask again? This is more towards your lifestyle type of thing. because I'm always fascinated by this too. Again, vanilla perspective, outside, totally doesn't understand anything other than just a regular relationship. I hear that and I go, oh, common internet term, her husband's a cuck. That's not always the scenario. Does he like any of the humiliation in person, or is he? That's not it. He's just a watcher.
No, just a watcher. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It's so fun. I've interviewed so many women who came from and it's the same story. None of them are cucks. I don't think there's any real cucks in the world from everyone I've interviewed and talked to.
No, so they don't come out.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Have you ever been in a scenario where it got uncomfortable? Like a guy was like, or does it not bother you? Like if a guy's like, I'm fucking better than your husband, da, 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 where you're like, oh, maybe don't say that. Quiet down. He don't love that.
You're saying as far as somebody better than him?
Well, or somebody, or some guy declaring it. Like maybe that's his dirty talk. The black guy is like, oh, I'm better than your, and does your husband not give a shit about that? Or
No, he doesn't care. Yes, it has happened. We've shot things where we've told them to talk to the camera, the POV, where talk to the camera and tell them that no, it doesn't bother him at all.
Sure. It's just production, right? It's just,
yes.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Fair enough. Can I ask, in your personal life and on film, what is like the largest gangbang you've been a part of? Any idea?
Well, when I was a swinger, it was 18 guys. I in a porn and a shoot. Oh, it was just a house party with the swinging lifestyle, and that's actually the time I decided it's time to go. Move on to porn.
Really? Okay.
But yeah, it was 18 black men, and it was a blast. I had a blast. And the gangbang in the porn industry, it was 8 guys, 8 black men.
And what kind of frozen vegetables did you sit on when you got home? Okay, fair enough. Bags of peas work well, from what I've heard, by the way.
My thighs were a little sore. That's about it.
Okay, fair enough. And you said it was 8 in on screen?
Yes, 8.
Okay.
And so, that was what was that called? I don't remember the name of it. It was with Team VP.
Okay.
In fact, it was my very first professional shoot.
Interesting. Okay. Oh, wow. So, I mean, we went back to like one of the first things I said. You didn't tiptoe in, huh? You dove off that cliff.
It just jumped. Yes.
How was that overwhelming at the time? Even though you really liked it, I mean, is there a huge difference? I would assume, and I've heard that there is a huge difference between personal and then on set.
Oh no, I don't think so. It'll be kind of fun. I'm not the type of person where once in the on a video on having fun. I get a point here with gangbangs. You think.
Yeah.
We enjoy it.
That's awesome. We are, okay, let me ask, this is my last question I have for you here. Then I got one quick social media thing. What are the goals going forward? Are you living just day to day at this point? What scenes come on? Do you have some ultimate plateau you want to get to? Do you want to be doing this till you're 90? Do you guys want to make $10 million and get out? Like, what is the game plan? Is there any game plan?
Well, my mom lived till she was 91. She was in good shape. So as far as me quitting right away here, I have no time. I don't even think about quitting.
Sure.
Not right now. No. It's my goals. I would love to, since I'm rebuilding my branding now, my name, definitely shoot for more big companies. I live in Florida and I don't want to move to Cali or Las Vegas, but I plan on traveling a lot more and hopefully shoot. I shoot a lot independent, but I'm hoping that I will start to shoot more for the bigger industries.
Gotcha. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you are currently running a porn production company that specializes in very large African-American gentlemen and you would like to get in touch, you can find DD White at DD White XX on Twitter. But on all the other sites where we really want to drive you to, especially if you want to see her personal content, the stuff she makes with her husband, I met him before this. He seemed very nice. So just so everyone knows, you can check that out at DD White. Links to everything in the episode description. Dee, thank you so much for coming on with me today.
You're welcome. Thanks for inviting me.
We'll see you next week.
Okay. Bye-bye.